What's up YouTube? I'll be doing a full-on tutorial on how to do a wave cut with a high taper and enhancements. So here we'll be starting off by just combing out the hair, making sure every single little hair is out for the blade will cut it through smoothly. Now here I'll be using my one guard with the lever closed and going with the grain, following the wave pattern, making sure that I go with the grain and not against it, because if not you will be leaving patches. Now with this process, you will be taking your time. Make sure that all the length is equally all the way around the head. Now here I showed you in a different angle because the cowlick on the back will basically the spiral. It goes in different directions, so you want to make sure that you go in the same directions as the spiral in the back. Now for a wave cut, there is like two different types of lengths for a haircut. This one, my client just prefers it this length, but usually it's a 1.5, a 2, or a 1 with the grain. Now here we'll be going off with the bald line, going with my trimmers, just balding it out. We will not be using the shaver because for my client it will leave him bumps, but you can ask your client to see if they will allow it. But here I'll just be opening my lever all the way open and closing it little by little just to take out that guideline. Now for the next step, I will be using my 1.5 guard, going against the grain, making sure that I blend in right into the wavelength that I did choose on top. Now I'll be using my half guard, going with the lever open, going at least 1/2 inch to blend it perfectly with the waves on top. And then I will be closing it little by little and then opening it up again. Now here I will be going in with my number 1 guard with the lever open, using only corner work, making sure that it blends towards that 1.5, and then we'll be closing it little by little. Now here is basically all detail work, just to make sure that there is no more guidelines, and then all the waves smoothly transfer into the fade that we just created. With detail work, you really want to take your time. Make sure, look away from the haircut and look into your mirror, and you will see any little dark spots and that you can fix and detail with your guards. With waves, sometimes it will be difficult depending on how wavy their hair is, because just a little wave will look like a dark spot. Just make sure that you are really detailing right. Don't dig into the waves too much, and don't make the high taper too high. Now here I will just be fast forwarding. I'll be doing the same steps I did onto the other side, and I will see you onto the next clip that will be in the back.
Purchase your track today.
Now I did want to get more into detail in the back, because as you can see, the hair direction is completely different. It goes up and it goes sideways, it goes in between, it goes towards the middle, it goes in different directions. So here you really got to take your time. I usually always leave the back to the end whenever it comes towards my tapers. So here I will be going with my lever open, closing it, and then I will be opening it little by little, making sure that the guideline comes out completely blurry and there is no little dark spots. Now as you can see, I am here detailing and going with the grain and against the grain just to make sure that the spots are gone. Now here I will be using my lever open with my 1.5 guard just to debulk a little bit, and then I'll be closing it to make the fade a little bit lighter with the 1.5. Now as you can see with the back, especially how the hair growth is, I am brushing a lot. Here I will be using my half guard, going at least half of an inch. As you can see, I am going in different directions because that is how the hair is growing. So you really want to go with the grain and against the grain on this, but you got to follow the pattern on how it grows. Now as you see, the half guard with the lever closed didn't fully take it out, so now I'm using my lever open with my clipper and using only corner work just to detail that. And now here, just all detail work again, I will be using my number 1 guard, going from left to right, up and down, closing the lever if I have to. Now from here, it's just detail work, making sure that the back taper is blurry. And now as soon as you're done with that, we'll be going on with the lineup. Now here I am using some edge spray or some spritz, as you want to call it. It will basically hold down the little hairs that you will be lining up. Be going in with the blow dryer, with cold air, blow dry it a little bit. And then here I'm using my non-zero gap clip trimmer right now just to rough draft it, but I usually do it with this trimmer in the back of the ear because it is really sensitive. If you use a trimmer that is completely fully zero gap, there might be a bigger of a chance of you actually cutting them. You can still have a nice crispy lineup with this non-zero gap trimmer, but you just have to take your time and actually get every single little hair that is sticking out. Same goes on this side. I will be starting from the bottom and then I'll be going up towards where the ear is and then just reconnecting those 2 dots. So it's point A, point B, and then C right in the middle. Now for here, I will be using my 245 clutch card, and I will be using enhancements. The enhancements that I am using, they are called Heavy. If you look them up online, it is really good enhancements. They do stick and it lasts for at least for quite a while. Now whenever you do apply the enhancements, you need to apply it as an angle, not directly on, because whenever you do it as an angle, it will blend into the haircut really good.
Purchase your track today.
Now here with the lineup, I will be starting up by lining up my vertical bars. And this is how I make sure that my lineup is straight. I always line up the vertical bars first, and then from there, I just put the client facing towards me. And then I can actually see point A and point B, making sure that it's the same length. And then from there, all I gotta do is just start from the middle and then work myself towards the left and then work my way to the right to make sure that the lineup is straight. Make sure whenever you comes to the lineup, you do take your time. This is the most important thing on the haircut, in my opinion, because a lot of the clients usually always look for a nice and straight, crispy lineup.
Buckroll.
Now, as you can see, for my client, he will be needing enhancements on the edge because he does have a couple light spots on the corners. Now here I'll be using my magic pencil. I will be using the color brown because it contours more towards his skin. I'm just making sure it's just light. It's just a light little stroke of pencil that you'll be using. You don't need to use a lot. I will be using all around the head because I really do want the haircut to pop a lot. With the enhancements, with the fade, this pencil will really make it look Photoshop. Now, as you can see, I will be using a little bit of enhancements on the front. For my client, he actually wants not a lot, but enough for it can look dark, for it can match towards the waves that he has in the middle.
Purchase your track today.
Now here I will be using my razor. Make sure that you have the razor at least a 45-degree angle and be careful with it. You have to be really light with it. Make sure you stretch the skin enough for the blade can glide properly. And then you will be brushing the hair down every time you do use the razor, for the pencil can blend into the skin. Now here I am going with the grain. I'm not going against it. The only part that I will be going against it will be in the back area of the taper. But for me, if you do want to blend out that pencil, then it'll be better to go with the grain instead of against.
Purchase your track
But make sure
today.
every time you do use the razor, you always brush out all the residue with your brush. Tell you the truth, this is my favorite part whenever it comes to doing a haircut. As soon as the haircut is completely done and you start detailing and making sure that the lineup is crispy with the razor, it's just really satisfying to me. It just looks super crispy as soon as you see the haircut coming together with the sharp lineups. And as you can see, it just makes the haircut pop out so much.
Purchase your track today.
Now really this is the end of the haircut. The only thing that I will be adding now, I will be using a type of gel that I apply on his hair, but that's only because it is really it's a gel that is called Echo. It has no alcohol or nothing, and it's really shiny when it comes to waves. You can really apply it on top and it gives you it lays it down really good and it gives a nice shine towards it. Right here, I'm just really detailing, making sure that I get every single little hair out of his forehead, all the little peach fuzz. Now here, this is the gel. It's called Echo, ECO, and you can buy it in really any beauty supply store. Just apply it on the waves, perfectly lay it down, and then from there just use a wave brush, or I have the level 3 brush that they have, and that lays it perfectly down. Go with the grain, brushing it towards where the waves are going.
Purchase your track today.
Now here for the last thing, just make sure that you cut every single little hair that is sticking out to go with the grain. I am using my guard. I usually freehand it with no guard, but here I'm just really digging into waves, making sure it's all completely neat and perfect. Now this is a tutorial for a full-on haircut, detailed, clean haircut with enhancements. Hopefully y'all enjoyed. Hopefully y'all learned something and you'll be using it towards y'all's haircuts. All the detailing, all the perfections that there is. Hopefully y'all like and subscribe and comment down for more. I will be putting more content soon.